Welcome to Burn the Ship. This is a podcast where we connect entrepreneurs or professionals that can help you go all in on your business. We talk to people that walk the walk, talk the talk, have been through all the things that we experience in the small business world. They come on the platform to share their experiences with us, educate us about what they do well, so that hopefully we can run a more successful business. Guy, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate your time. Anyone that shares some time with me, shares some time with the audience, lets us learn from your experiences. It means a lot to us. So thank you very much. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business?
Okay. Well, thank you, Bailey. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm honored to be here. Uh, my background is mostly technical. I'm an engineer by trade, worked in IT for many years. Um, but I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, and always, while I was working, I usually had some kind of side hustle going on, and or trying to have some side hustle going on, and which was a kind of a good learning curve for me to because most of my ideas just flat out failed for one reason or another. And about 10 years ago, I got laid off from my IT job, and just the thing I had going on at the time, I decided, okay, I just went all in and just scaled the best I could, and I've been doing that for 10 years now.
Nice. So
Yeah.
tell me kind of the strategy, right? So what, and tell us a little bit about kind of what you do, I guess, for the people that are listening that don't know the background. So
Okay. So my company is called FurnitureRisers.com, and I make custom furniture risers. So these are little blocks of wood that uh, go underneath sofa legs to just lift it up for more, to your sofa will be higher. Um, so um, a lot of my folks, um, everyone should have ergonomically correct sofa. Your sofa should be up, the top of your cushion should be up at the top of your kneecap. If it's not, it's too low. And also, furniture risers are used to lift beds up. A lot of people want more storage under the bed, or their bed's just too low. Your bed should come up, top of the mattress should be up just above mid thigh. And most people don't know that unless they're tall. But once sometimes they might be advanced age or after surgery, they suddenly realize, or when they're in some weakened position in life, they realize, oh, I'm working too hard to get up, and you don't need to wait. We don't need to wait till we're 90.
right.
It's corrected now. So they said you can buy furniture risers on Amazon, a 4-pack for 25 bucks. But these are kind of the hollow plastic ones. They don't look that great, right? So people have nice homes. I make the custom ones. They're beautifully handmade, hand painted, choice of colors. And so if you've got a nice living room, you want to walk in and see a nice furniture, I make the beautiful set of risers. 4-pack's going to be more like 200 mailed to your house. Okay, to get
So
just,
what was, and so you make these yourself,
I make it myself in a wood shop. Yeah.
right?
I start the orders on Mondays, manufacture, paint, pack, and ship. They go out on Thursdays.
So tell me the if you have this trade or this skill, right, with
Mhm.
woodworking in general, and you understand your product and you understand who's most likely to buy your product, what are the things that you do? Because this is what this is a 10-year venture for you, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
10 years.
I
How do
think,
you go about, and I know that you had a little bit of that IT background, so you kind of understood a little bit more about the internet than the average person, and probably even the average person that's trying to take on kind of that e-commerce journey. But what do you do first? How do you figure out how to get these products onto a website in a way that people are capable of going through the whole process of purchasing something? And then how do you kind of fulfill those orders? Like, how do you put those processes in place so that your business is scalable?
well, here's what you do first. So I can only recommend what I did. So I recommend first thing you do, keep your day job. Don't quit, okay? Because you want to be an entrepreneur. Keep that paycheck coming in because your rent's due in 2 weeks, your credit card bill's due in 2 weeks. That's your priority. Then the second step, besides keeping your day job, is on the evenings and weekends, start your side hustle because most ideas are bad. Most will fail until you've been up the learning curve a few times on starting ideas and launching ideas, right? So
Sure.
you got plenty of time when you get home from work. This is second step.
Yeah.
Then go just learn like everyone else, because you're going to have a strength and you're going to have a bunch of weak, a bunch of blind spots. Okay, my strength, God, engineering background, so I'm a rock star when it comes to the website. But you know what? I wasn't a rock star about. I didn't know anything about email marketing or uh, shipping or logistics or finding carriers. There's a or human resources or tax, legal.
Sure.
Little things, right? And so insurance, every other thing you're going to learn. So all these things, learn these on the evenings and weekends while you're doing your thing, and that's step two, to start whatever it is, evenings, weekends, and just start doing it. And if it keeps going, if it doesn't, if you hit a wall, you got to pivot, go do something else on evenings, weekends. And so that's step two. And um, so that's what I was doing. And then I got laid off. And the one that I was doing, I was able to take it to the next level, keep growing it. I was just selling one-offs on evenings, weekends on eBay. And then I got laid off. I had to learn, okay, get the website, promote the website, call people. That didn't work, email. There's all kinds of things that failed along the way,
Sure.
but I eventually made my path,
So what ended up working out for you? What ended up being that superpower for you where you decided, okay, I know the technical side, right? I established the website, I get some web presence. Was it, were you competing on that space on Google to be at the top of the search list whenever people were searching for furniturizers, or what was that method for you that helped you kind of compete in the e-commerce world?
well, in the end, after trying a lot of things that didn't work, Amazon didn't work for me. Amazon's for the big boys that are bringing containers from Asia.
Sure.
Okay. eBay didn't work for me. eBay's where people go looking for cheap deals. I'm a
Sure.
premium expensive thing. People, people aren't going to spend $200 on rice.
Right.
I shop it on eBay. So these fails. So what did work? Eventually, I found out it was Google Shopping ads
Mm.
and also organic search results. So by doing SEO, my results came up higher and higher. And once you tip over it from the abyss of Google organic search results into page one,
Sure.
once you get onto page one organically, then you kind of have broken through and you don't have to pay for absolutely every customer.
Sure.
So that's what did suggest what worked. It turned out to be Google. Although it could have been, I didn't know what it's going to be.
Sure.
Trial and error.
Sure. So what were kind of some of the obstacles? I guess we kind of talked about this, reverse form as far as chronologically goes, but what are some of the obstacles that you've kind of faced along the way? I know that trying to find that sales or marketing channel that ended up producing sales for you has kind of been one of those things that is a revolving chore for anyone in the small business world. Sales is never done if you're a business owner, that is for sure. But what other difficulties, what were the other learning points for you along the way?
Here's a big learning point, and I mean, it may be the most important learning point. I tried to be everything to everybody, okay? And so you need to kind of pick a lane, and you're either going to be a quality leader and the most expensive. You're going to be Mercedes Benz,
Sure.
or you're going to be the most convenient, okay? Or you're going to be the cheapest. You got to pick your lane. You can't be all three. So here's one of the big mistake I made. So I'm the quality leader, right? I make the best. Pick up the phone. You can talk to someone about buying a furniture. And nobody. I mean, this is a unique niche that I invented. So people can, if I said they pick up the phone, I answer my cell phone. They're like, "Hi, I've got a sofa," and that's quality leadership. Also, these are solid handmade wooden risers painted to the choice. They're custom. So that's the quality leadership. I'm not the most convenient. You're going to wait 2 weeks to get what I got. That's not next day shipping. I'm not the cheapest. If you want cheap, you go to eBay,
Sure.
right? You go to walk into Home Depot. You can walk out with some furniture risers, and they're going to be They're going to be fifth the price of mine. So I chose to be the quality leader. The big mistake I made at one point 5 years ago, I thought, hey, I got this big email list from past customers. I'm coming up on, page one of Google. I'm also going to sell cheap ones on my website. So what I'm going to do is, I know what I'll do. I got all the sizes. I'm going to go get these made in plastic. So I had molds made, had an initial production run shot in plastic. Okay. And it's like, I got custom, I got all the sizes. So I had a bunch of sizes made in plastic. I spent $50,000, maybe less than 50. Yeah, more like 35 grand. Um, Getting all this done, brought in, made, I kept my made in America thing. They were shot in America, and plastic injection mold in America. And what happened was, I thought, man, I got it now. I got both. I got it
Right.
all. I can ship the plastics next day. They're cheap. I got the expensive custom ones. What's not to like? Here's what happened. The cheapest wasn't the absolute cheapest. My best
Right.
is the absolute best. You're not going to find better handmade risers.
Right.
No one else does this. One other guy,
Right.
not the best. The cheapest, I was like, so instead of a 4-pack for $25 shipped to you, my plastic ones were like a 4-pack for $50 shipped to you, because they were made in America and different. I'm not a huge factory with $1,000 a month labor that they have in Asia. Okay.
Right.
You know, I came in midstream on the cheapest. So I'm not, either you're Walmart and you're the cheapest,
Right.
or don't do that. That's the lesson I learned. Either I wasn't the absolute cheapest. So my lesson that I'm passing on is, if you're not the cheapest, don't do it. Don't race
Yeah.
to the bottom. You don't want to win the race, and you don't want to lose the race. You can't win the
Yeah.
race. You've already been beat. It's being done well. Get out. Okay. Um, so, yeah, you got, if you're going to enter a new market, maybe you have to enter in at the cheapest. If you're starting a lawn care service, the only way you're going to compete right now is like you're starting your thing on evenings and weekends. Go ahead, start at the bottom, but you got to find your way to the top, because you're never going to make more than minimum wage. Someone's always going to come in and beat you. Okay.
Right.
So go be the best after you start out being the cheapest, but pick your lane.
Right.
I
So
learned
where do you
$35,000
go
lesson.
from? No, yeah, for sure. And that's kind of why we do the podcast, right? Is like that $35,000 lesson. There's no, you're in the vast minority of people that can persist from a business perspective after that $35,000 lesson. You know what I mean? Like that puts people out of business. Like I do payments, I do credit card processing. Payment processing puts people out of business. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
aggregating fees, adding this thing here and there. Like business gets expensive quick when you're trying to put the fuel into your business to grow the way that you want to, especially if you're someone like me that is like, as soon as I see one thing move in the right direction, I want to pump it full of steroids and push it out there as fast as possible. So, like, for people that rely on that instant gratification, that $35,000 lesson is enough to make most people go, "Whoa, I don't know that I want to do this anymore. I can't stand to bear that kind of loss in my future." So, I would say that you're in the low percentile of people that would persist and find a way to continue moving forward after experiencing something like that. So props to you, because like I said, I think that puts a lot of people out of business. But where do you go from here, right? Like once you've kind of decided what your lane is and you've gotten some success, like kind of where are you guys today? How many customers are you fielding? How many orders are you fielding every week today? And then kind of what's your goal?
here's where I'm at today. My goal, I've got a really efficient process. Okay. And so I used to have one or two employees. And what I did was, um, I raised my prices, got rid of both my employees, so I work alone. So what's happened is, when you raise your prices, you get fewer orders. When you
Sure.
get rid of your employees, your margins go up. So I'm more profitable. So I'm manufacturing everything by myself, but I've got really efficient processes in operations. Okay. And so I got everything super streamlined. So when my orders come in during the week, I start them on Mondays and they ship on Thursdays. I manufacture, I knock them out really efficiently now. Okay. So I'm doing fewer orders, higher margins. Um, the number of orders I'll get anywhere from, I've had some days that are zeros. I got zero orders coming in, but some days might be 5 to 10, orders
Sure.
coming, you know?
Sure.
So the orders come in, and where I'm at is I want to double my top line. Okay. And, you know, so I'd like to have more like maybe, 10 to 20 orders coming in. So that brings me back. I've tried a lot of different advertising. Most of it doesn't work at all. There's a million opportunities to advertise out there in the world. Okay. You can just there's everything from, people, influencers and everything, TV, radio, billboards, magazine, print, non-print, email, on and on and on. Okay. So if you start a small business, you'll have a bajillion opportunities to advertise. 99.99% will not work.
For sure.
And so you got to quickly, you don't have a big budget. If you're listening to this podcast, you're like everyone else listening to this podcast, you don't have a big advertising budget. That comes from profit. Okay. So what's left over, you spend on advertising, you got to think really hard about what you're going to do. So for me to double my top line, I found out what works. And it's the only thing that's working right now for me is everyone finds me on Google.
Right.
So I put it into SEO, so I push up higher so I get more organic results, or I can push out more paid results. But the paid results the days of cheap Google clicks are over.
Oh yeah.
So what I'm doing is and every time I talk to Google, they're giving me the heavy, sales pitch. They really want me to spend money, like, oh, let me help you think. Oh, gee, oh, hey, you could really need to double your budget. I'm like, no. I'm not going to keep doubling my budget. I want you to maximize what the budget I've given to you right now. It's $500 a month. And that's it. It used to be $1,000, but it wasn't being effectively used. So I'm like, listen, guys, you get $500 a month. The rest of my money I'm using as my time right now to email marketing, which is free. Okay. So the way I'm going to double my thing is I'm right now, maybe it won't work, but I'm just doing more and more email marketing, and I'm going to find marketing lists for people who are physical therapists and push them through my email marketing funnel. The great thing about email marketing, once you get that set up, they're going to get an email from me every 4 months for the rest of their life until they unsubscribe. Right. Okay. They'll always hear, and I get maybe like a 0.001% that ends up in a conversion, but that's okay because, maybe 3 years from now, they send it to their parents and their father realizes he needs to stand up easier.
Right.
So that's the long answer. The only thing that works for me is Google. I'm fixing my budget with them. So I'm going to go with what's free. And that's right now, email marketing.
Sure. No, yeah, I think that what you're talking about, you are in a similar industry as I am in the way that it is very timing based, right? Like no one needs your service or has the pain that makes them decide, oh, I need to look out into the world to see if there are other options to alleviate this pain for me until they are experiencing that pain, right? Like no one wants to talk to their credit card processor until they hate their credit card processor, right? And so it is about being present for as long as possible so that when that, being the master of timing, when that timing arrives, you are the person that is top of mind for them. I would say just for food for thought that
I'd love to get some feedback because I'm working in a vacuum here. It's just me.
I would think that some interior designers would actually probably be decent referral partners for you. I know a couple of people in my area as well. They do interior design and they specifically work like 90% of their business is in the rehoming space, right? So I'm in Atlanta and the people are rehoming themselves like crazy. So they're selling properties to people that are out of state, and then they're saying, hey, meet this interior designer that's going to help you with all of your stuff as you rehome yourself. Those are mostly elderly people. A lot of those relationships as well, like in South Florida, people that are constantly rehoming them. So, they're going to Boca Raton and places like that. So I have a handful of people in my network that we help with payment processing that may be good referral partners for you as well. But that seems like it could be, a similar avenue to, I want to drip email you, just in case you need me, for, that just, at least that's what comes to mind. But yeah, I think it's really just about timing. I think that people are going to get to a point in their life where they need what you have. They're going to need that good, and they're going to find somewhere, in their $1 million worth of house that they don't want to put
Yeah.
on $25 Amazon blogs. Like my wife, I'll tell you this right now,
Uh-huh.
would absolutely not put Amazon furniture risers into our furniture. She just wouldn't. It's not her style. She's too picky. She's like, we've spent thousands of dollars on furniture and thousands of dollars on this house. Why would we let it sit on the ugliest things that they can sit on, right? So like the same stuff, I think that it's definitely a timing thing, and there are probably some industries that you can align yourself with to continuously market to those people that could help you increase your top line as well. And I can actually help you grab some of that data too. I have some cool tools that we use for that. But
Really?
no, I think what you're doing is cool. I think that being lean and taking that solopreneur approach and perfecting those processes is something that you cannot avoid, right? That time for you and the audience that are listening, you are going to have to spend your time figuring out how you can do those things efficiently, so that you can spend a lot of time trying to get to that next customer. It's just the nature of business. Sales is never done. And if you can perfect those processes in a way where you're not spending 90% of your time rendering your actual service, you're kind of in the driver's seat to take your business where you want to go. So I hope that I can bring some value to those
Oh,
things. I'll tell
great.
you that a little bit
Great
about that
feedback.
a little more after the
Yeah.
podcast. But so
Great.
remind people in the audience that want to buy something from you, or maybe have a referral from you. How do they find your website? How do they find you on the internet? How do they get in touch with you?
I'm go to my website, please. FurnitureRisers.com. Check it out. It's a one of a kind and one of a kind product. You won't find any other website like mine. My picture's on there. My phone number's on there. Feel free to pick up the call if you've got aging parents. If you know someone who's 6'5", or a lot of sofas are low. So
Yeah.
FurnitureRisers.com. Thank you for asking me.
And sum up this whole entrepreneur journey for me, right? I think a lot of people in the entrepreneur space, they flip this light switch, and it kind of happens for everyone at a different place, right? Maybe it's when you get your logo back, or it's when you get your first customer, it's when you make your millionth dollar. It's a different place for everybody. But I think that in that journey, entrepreneurs go, oh, this is a real thing for me now. Like I have to figure out a way to make this thing work for me. I have to overcome these problems that I'm having. I have to make this a leaner, meaner ship for me to do what I want to do. So, since making that decision for yourself, what has this whole 10 years been like for you, and kind of what's it done for you in your life?
I've never been happier professionally. I got to say, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. And if you're listening that resonates with you, then hey, you're like-minded people and you know what I'm talking about. So there's no going back for me. You know, I could make more money probably going back to IT right now, but I've tried so many things on the side and learned so much. I love, love, love it. And I'm just going to keep going and growing my business. And I always try other side hustles too. I see something I got the bandwidth now to dabble in other things, and I love
Sure.
doing that. I learned something from that.
No, it's an exciting thing. There's a lot of fulfillment and gratification that comes out of putting in the hard work to make something work, and I'm glad you're at that place. I'm glad I got to have this conversation with you when you're in a good place and you're thinking about growth and scale, and hopefully I can be some value in that too, and this podcast can be some value to to that journey and to those efforts. So I'm excited to have been connected with you. And I look forward to having this conversation again. I look forward to revisiting this at some point and seeing how things are going and seeing what things are working and what things aren't, because there's always developments in the e-commerce space. Like as 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years pass, as e-commerce and the things that work and the things that don't continue to change. So I appreciate your time. It really does mean a lot for me and for you. That is, for the audience that is out there listening, please go check out Furniture Risers. Your website is very simple. It's very elegant. It works very, very well. Something that I can appreciate from a payment processing perspective. And the product's really, really good. So I appreciate your time. I urge you to go check out Furniture Risers and to seek out what makes you happy as well. If you have that entrepreneur itch, it's not going to be scratched by anything other than giving something a try and taking a chance at failing, because that's the only way that you succeed. So, best of luck to you. If I can be of some value to you guys out there, please lean on me. But until next time, burn the ship.